Okay, keep this up. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, so hello. Look at the camera. Are you upset about something? Do we need to cut the camera off and have a talk first? Okay, I guess not. Hey guys. We were supposed to have guests this week, but we don't, and we want to postpone the show, so here we are.
Did we say we was gonna have guests next week?
We did. So maybe next week, right? Anywho, today we're going to talk about listening to your friends. Let's talk about when you're in a relationship and you're listening to your friends. Now, I'm not going to say that all friends don't have good things to say or that you shouldn't listen to your friends at all. But I do want to say that sometimes you have to choose what you listen to and who you talk to about a certain situation. This is because, you know, there's a saying that you shouldn't take advice from someone who's not in a position that you are. So that's number one. Number two is, do you want to discuss everything with your friends about your relationship?
Listening to friends can be good and bad sometimes. Their opinions can be biased, of course, because they're your friends and they love you, so they may support you even when you're wrong. Sometimes people can be jealous, you know, envious of, specific relationships. So every advice that someone provides may not be for the greater good. Taking advice from friends is, sometimes just their perspective, and their perspective ain't always about where you at in your own personal relationship. Their advice can be, from the way they felt when they was at that point in their relationship, if they went through something you went through, or what they think is best in the outcome. When listening to advice from friends, you got to think about the effect that it will actually have on your relationship. If intended to do harm, is it more so intended to be honest? Just overall, you need to just weigh in on the advice and what you get from the friends, and also think about the friends that's giving you the advice. You know your friends.
Right.
I know which friends to listen to
right.
in regards to which advice that I'm receiving. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
No names dropping, right?
No names dropping. Yes, that breaks the guy code, man.
Yeah,
that breaks
true,
the guy code.
If anything, a guy's friends sometimes could be worse because, guys are just, they always about the bros. Like, I know the girls are about the girls too, but at least the girls still have love for the situation. At least the girls think emotionally and, not just with their penis.
Women talk too damn much. Excuse me for a lack of words. Women want advice on the advice that they receive.
Well,
like, I just received some advice from my friend. Can you give me some advice on what she said? Like, y'all just want to talk.
Whatever. That's not my friendship with my girlfriends. That's not how we operate. But I just think that you do have to choose wisely. Who you ask, what you tell, how you tell. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking to your friends, but it just really depends on how you go about the situation.
I mean, I support talking to friends, getting advice and stuff from people, in regards to a relationship. But something that I do stand on, I limit the amount of people that I do talk to. I don't allow myself to be vulnerable to just discussing my personal issues with anybody. I have a select group of individuals that I talk to, and I'm consistent with that. They became my support group for a reason, because I understand that they're supportive. Just the position that I allowed them to be in, they understand the severity of why I'm coming to them, and they understand that their response can also affect the relationship that I have with them. I don't look forward to my friends giving me negative advice or telling me to do devious things if I'm trying to actually become positive in the end. If I come to advice, I'm coming to you for help.
Okay, so from last week's show, From last week's show, we did have some comments, questions, and concerns. Thank you guys. Can we please have more? We need more and more and more. So, this lady said that I can go ahead and put her on the show. So thank you, Jessica. Jessica asked, okay, so I feel like my mate should be willing to sit there and talk to me about the same thing for a bajillion hours if that's what I need to move on from whatever occurred. And I do understand how that can be extremely annoying, but that doesn't mean that I'm okay just dropping it just because I'm aware it's annoying. Basically, what happens if he's done with the topic, but you're still feeling very unsettled, needing to talk more about it, is it your responsibility to get over it and leave it alone, or is it your responsibility to hold you down, for him to hold you down and give you what you need until you're over it? So the way I responded to it was that I think that you can't overly communicate sometimes and it can be annoying, or you can overly communicate because you have a misunderstanding. I think that was a very good question, because a lot of times things aren't resolved because of lack of communication. If one feels that they are over the situation, it doesn't make it okay for you to walk away from the situation or to just ignore, what that person is thinking. Or if that person thinks that, or they feel, I just don't understand, I feel this kind of way, or this is my argument, and you've told me something that you feel, but I just don't understand where you're coming from, then you can't just really block that person out and be like, well, whatever, if you don't get it, oh well, I said what I said and I'm done with the situation. I think that if you love that person, or if you really like that person, then you should be concerned about how they feel in the situation, and then you should want to talk to them and you should want to help them understand. Walking away from the situation, to me, seems like you just don't care. And if you don't care, then there should be no wasting of time arguing with you, if you get what I mean. If you do understand exactly what the person is talking about, and you still just feel like, because of how Jessica felt, she felt like, I hear what you're saying, but I want you to agree with me, so I'm going to keep asking you until you agree with me. Well, if the other person just doesn't want to agree with you, then sometimes you have to agree to disagree. And that's just, that comes with maturity.
See, if it's important to them, it should be important to you.
Right.
So it's like, if that's something they want to talk about, whether you want to talk about it or not, I mean, you can't just avoid the situation. And most important, you just can't tell nobody what they want to hear, because it's like, that's a red flag, as well as that will backfire, at some point, more than likely. It's important to discuss every situation. You shouldn't be running away from any situation in particular. Closing doors, you close it mutually. I don't think it should be a one-sided situation. One person may feel this way about a situation, you guys got to, address each issue from each standpoint and try to find a point to agree to disagree. But not all the time people may say, you know what, is it okay for one person to be right and the other person to be wrong? Is it okay for two people to win an argument?
It's really not about any of that. It's kind of about coming to a conclusion. That's what it's about. It's not about if you win or if I win, or who wins. It's about coming to a conclusion. It's about ending that conversation or that assumption, or whatever the case may be. Again, just like what we talked about last week, communication is key. And if you walk away from a situation and the end point was you guys yelling at each other and saying F it, then that's probably not a conclusion. That's probably going to turn into something else later, and it's not over. And we're back.
You're on now, Tyrone. Oh,
all right. We want people to not just think that it's all about one thing. We want to talk about everything. So we're going to talk about more than one subject today. Since we don't have any guests. Fun. Jealousy in a relationship. When does that happen? So basically, I think that jealousy is a broad topic, but I want to talk specifically about when you're doing too much in a relationship, right? So, for instance,
don't go through my phone. Don't question me about no emojis under my pictures. Don't ask me about my whereabouts.
Okay, now that's where it's taking it too far. Okay, I want to know about your whereabouts. But about the whole phone thing. Like, you shouldn't go through somebody's phone unless you're looking for something to find. That's how I feel. If you trust them, you trust them. If you don't, get out of it. Period. Like, y'all shouldn't even be together. The thing is, too, is that people have friends. You never know what something can mean. And I don't know. Sometimes people are too friendly. That doesn't mean cheating. A conversation to me does not mean cheating, period. And then the emojis thing, like, come on now. Girls are petty. Guys are petty. Girls want to intrude and make the other girl in your relationship talking about a guy. They want to make them jealous. And vice versa. Guys do it too. If I do go through your phone, ladies, this is for you. If I do go through your phone, then that means that I'm suspecting something, right? That's number one. Number two, if I go through your phone and I approach you about it, who is Susie? Well, the question of why did you go through my phone is kind of valid. I mean, I know it's not a question that we like. Like, what do you mean? Why though? It doesn't matter why I went to your phone. The question is, who is Susie, right? But if Susie ends up being a coworker who he just dropped off at home because she don't have a car because her boyfriend is like a woman beater and left her in the street, then you just like, oh damn, I should have never. Sorry, babe. You know, but so you just, I mean, like, just don't go through his phone. Like,
Susie from State Farm.
Then get sued if you go through their phone, they can lie. So you probably wasting your time going through the phone. Even if you go through the phone and they be like, you know, I miss you from the other day, they could lie about that too. Like, that's a lie. Like, if you don't trust them, just get out of the relationship. It's no point, you know? And especially if this is like your second or third time going through his phone, because I know it will be. It ain't going to be your first time if you went through his phone.
I mean, let's take it back a notch. Let's take it back a notch. Let me take it. Sometimes I think that sometimes a person can be jealous, they may need some reassurance.
That's true.
I mean, sometimes in a relationship, like they say, it kind of ties into when sometimes I think people can get too comfortable. So sometimes, you know, people don't hear that I love you every day. You know, certain things that reassure that you devoted to that person, that you really love that person, and it's just like some things that may make them vulnerable to becoming jealousy. I mean,
do I need to go through your phone for reassurance?
What?
Right, so I mean.
No, I lost my train of thought.
Basically,
I got a lot of thoughts in my. No, I don't need you to basically my conversation or my thought process.
We'll be okay.
Listen. Listen.
Tell him, babe.
Of course, men and women can do stuff to try to provoke someone else's significant others.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, depending on the way you feel or how you feel in that day, you may choose to inquire about it. I won't always necessarily say that it's becoming jealous. You may inquire. It's like, no, you don't have to have your mate address each, you know, comment under their picture, each emoji that's been left. Mm-mm. But at the same time, some things people do that's so consistent that you may... True. You may want to check up on what's going on. I don't think that's necessarily making you jealous. I think you just inquiring on what's going on. Yeah. So that's when the idea of reassurance can come to you. Say, you know what? I love you. You know I wouldn't do nothing like that. I don't understand why this person. You think we're lying? Think I'm lying?
About what? I said they could be lying. Don't believe that. But I hear you. That's a good point. That's public though. The going through your phone thing, that stands. But the emoji things under the picture, that could be that's public. So if Susie keep on putting emojis under all of your pictures, I am gonna want to know who Susie is.
Susie might be like Susie.
I don't care who Susie might be.
Susie could be Ken. These days, you never know who is.
People try it. You see what I'm saying? Guys are so clever. Susie is Ken. Yeah, whatever. You so full of it.
No, unless I know Susie personally, shit, I can't tell you why she doing what she doing, shit.
Susie could be Ken. This is a smart guy right here. I'm telling you, like.
It's so easy to be jealous. Like that's expected of you. That's expected of you to be jealous. Like I think it's more important to avoid the obvious traits of becoming jealous.
Yes.
Like if somebody flirt with your girlfriend. Don't become jealous.
Be happy.
That's gonna happen. People gonna flirt. People gonna try to provoke you. People gonna try to get inside your head. And just like the more content you are, the more grounded you are in your relationship. Out of the split side to this, like jealousy, right? When I think of jealousy at this point, I think of like Chris Brown say, man, when a rich nigga wants you, ain't nothing your man can do about it. Up in them clubs, people popping bottles, man. It's people that's gonna have more money than you. People gonna have more shine, more clout, whatever terminology you want to use in today's society. And it's so easy to, if you caught up in all that nonsense, then you gonna be wanting to worry about your haves and have-nots, and you can ultimately become jealous. So if your girl like, I'm going to the club looking good, and you feel like, oh, it's gonna be a ball up in there or something like that, then you might be like, you know what? Don't go in nobody's sections. Don't drink no liquor.
That's not reality.
Don't associate yourself with no opposite sex.
Go stand in the corner.
Go stand in the corner. Shit.
But if y'all go to the club together and the ballers is popping bottles and he not, and you end up in one of their sections, that's a problem. Leave her.
I can't even like. I wish a motherfucker. Whoa. What? Are you sick? People do that?
I don't know.
No, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what I'm able to obtain or what I can have in life is like endless. Like, the type of person I am, I know that, you know, whatever I want, I can get. You know, I might not can get it at that very moment,
but it's gonna be God.
It's gonna, you know, by the grace of God, it's gonna happen. You know, if I set out to, you know, make it happen. But it depends on what you interested into. I mean, what you interested in, what you know, like what type of things that moves you. You know, if the club is your thing and people outshine you in the club and you let that get to you and you become jealous, that's on you. You gotta reassess yourself, you know. Just worry about what you're doing and how you do it. Just be content with what you got going. Jealousy, man, it's an emotion.
Yeah.
It's an emotion, you know.
Don't let it take over.
In regards to that emotion, you know, you may feel some insecurities, you know.
That, yes. Because if you have insecurities, now that's a whole nother problem. You can't really blame that on your mate. You can't really, don't try to bring your own insecurities into a relationship. Or if you do, let your mate know, like, you know, I really have issues with myself because of these reasons. I know that's hard, but guess what's harder? What's harder is if you're not talking to that person that you really want to talk to. Or what's harder if you end up not being with that person that you really want to be with because of your own insecurities, and really you could have just let that person know that these are my issues and I would like to discuss them so that you know, and then that person can reassure you right away.
You know what?
I'm with you for these reasons and I like who you are, period.
You know what? With jealousy, you know, when we talk about the idea of jealousy and the emotion of it, it's like, at that point when I'm jealous, where's my self-esteem on a scale of 1 to 10? Am I feeling like a 1 in life? So that's why I'm so vulnerable to being. At that point, you think about your self-esteem at the point of becoming like jealousy. Like, so if you at a 1, you know, you at a block with your job, in life you just feel like you at a standstill. So your self-esteem overall is like a 4, a 5. I think you may be more vulnerable, you know, to becoming jealous. But if you feel like a 10, and a 10 ain't always got to be when you have everything materialistic or everything is just given to you because you want it. You could just be at a happy point in your life, happy with everything that you have. You're happy with your relationship. You're happy with the roof over your head. You're happy with God himself. You're happy in life. And that can be with a bank account that's equivalent to just a couple of dollars or something, I would say. You know what I mean? You just overall rich. You rich in spirit, you're rich in health, and you just overall feeling good about yourself and feeling good what's going on in the world and the place in which you've been put in. It's like when you feel like that overall and you conquer it, I think you're kind of like less likely to become jealous sometimes.
Yeah, again, just like last week, like every week, we probably gonna end up saying this in the show, is that it starts with you first. If you're jealous, why are you jealous? Think about why you're jealous first before you lash out to the other person, because that's really not his problem or her problem of why you feel the way you feel. You're just jealous for whatever reasons. And so you probably want to discuss why, or with yourself, you probably want to figure out first why it is that you feel jealous, period, because it starts with you. If you're happy with you, they'll be happy with you. So even if you do have insecurities, get over it. Why? Because if you love yourself, they'll love you too. If you know you're beautiful, he'll know you're beautiful, and vice versa. It starts with you. So again, please hit us up with questions, comments, or concerns. We need more. Stop being so shy. All we want to do is answer your questions.
If you know me, ask me a question.
Tell me. Hell, come anonymous.
If you don't know me,
okay, I already said that last time. Make a fake Facebook page. Just ask us questions.
Ask me a question. If you don't know me, don't assume. You feel me?
Don't assume what?
Don't assume you know me.
What?